Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts version 109 beta. Yes, that's right, 109 beta. It got delayed due to a, well, as I understand, pretty nasty critical bug. So welcome to me reading you the patch notes and what is new, and I'll very briefly show off the features that I can. This release possibly the worst possible timing, a Friday night. Because I have no time to play this. So it's not going to be until Tuesday that I'm going to be able to start making content on 109, so don't expect anything over the weekend, but you'll get this video kind of showing what you can do, hopefully showing off the new hull, if it's in. I think it will be the new global map and stuff like that. So, full global map, expanded to its maximum scale size, as in it now is the whole planet. All 10 major nations are now in the game, so it's the 5 we had before. The new ones are the United States of America, the Russians, the Japanese, the Spanish, and the Chinese. And they note here that initial starting provinces are the same no matter the start year, implying in the future that initial starting provinces will be different depending on start year. But that's quite a lot of work, I understand. So that's probably a way in the future. The technology tree has been fleshed out. We'll go and have a look at that. Submarines and anti-submarine warfare has been added. Submarines are not in the battle map, as I understand it. Mines have been added as well. You get mines, mine laying, and things like that. Very, very cool. Interested to see how that works. And it does say that they can damage enemies that try and go for a port strike mission, which is quite interesting. The new ship construction floors, which is probably the most controversial new feature. Only in the campaign, ships can have defects when you build them, which goes away with certain techs. And certain complex components apparently increase the chances of that. This is probably the one that just divided the community the most since they announced it. It would be nice if that was a toggle, but I don't believe it is. And you can refit them out as well, some of them. But yeah, well, I'll have to have a fiddle with this and see if it's obvious if you're going to have a defect or not, and how it plays. The recon rating, so ships now get recon, so you're going to need, basically going to need destroyers. Not just for the recon, but you're going to need it for your mine sweeping, mine laying, and your anti-submarine warfare as well. And new strategic technologies. So, technology aspects have been rebalanced and enriched. I have to have a look. Updated shipyard graphics. I think this was possibly being delayed, so I'll have to check to see if that's actually in. Ammunition in the campaign. Again, I can't really test this until I actually start playing a campaign, but if you go into battle and you fire all your shells, your ships have no shells. So if they get into another battle before they get to go home to a friendly port and rearm, they're going to be in a spot of bother. So you're going to have to consider, if you're fighting a battle, you're not wanting to throw shells away. And I think increased shells will become more common. I tend to run on standard most of the time, but increased shells. Probably going to be a kind of go-to pick for most people, and reduced shells, not so much. Detailed ship map movement and fuel. So this is saying that ships will travel according to their cruising speed, which is determined from their top speed and engine type. And then, according to their operational range, they spend fuel on the map. So if you move them, and during combat, And then if they reach low fuel, you need to do at-sea refueling, which they simulate by, or they're going to simulate by having them go slower. So obviously you need your refueling ship to come and pick them up and spend some time refueling them. And it'll also make it a little bit more expensive because obviously you've got to send out supply ships and things like that. And they will refuel according to their distance from a friendly port and free capacity. So you're going to have to watch out for your fuel as well. New defend role. So you can have ships in port and their job is to defend the port, and that is it. As a new, I'm assuming this is going to be cheaper than in being, so that you can keep your wartime budget under control. Commission time. This is new, although it was kind of already in for mothballed ships. They say it here. What used to happen, or what happens in the current live build 108.9, is if you have a ship in mothballs and then you bring it out of mothballs, it says it needs to be repaired. Well, that's gone. It's now commission time, but this also applies to new ships. So if you have a brand new battleship come off the slipway, it's going to have a commission time on top of that, which is, again, going to be interesting. Then we have repair priority for ports. So you can change the level at which your ships will get repaired. So if they only have, they took a tiny scratch, you can have them not be repaired, which is quite handy. Detailed refit time. This is definitely a much requested player feature. The refit time is more detailed, utilizing the amount of objects and tonnage changed on the ship. And more importantly for me, because I think the refit times kind of made sense. It was just, you didn't know what they were going to be. You could kind of guess. Now, the refit time shows up during the design. Perfect. Great. Undo in the ship designer. Again, very nice little quality of life improvement there. And speaking of quality of life improvements, a big one, multiple saves for campaigns. Yes, very nice. And they are working on, but it's not in, saving during campaign battles. Fantastic. Engine vibration mechanic. This is, again, something I'm really going to have to test out. I'm assuming that this is going to be more of a problem if you have a really overpowered ship. My instant thing is the USS Defiant, which had this problem famously. If you throw your ship into at full flank speed, it's going to cause shaking, which is going to cause the ship's accuracy to have problems. So you probably want to be going around at slightly lower speeds, unless you really need to catch up. Shell splashes accuracy effect. So this is quite a big change, and I don't know if it comes with a change to how the AI works. So I'm yet to see if this is a good change or this is going to be a bit of an annoyance, because what it says is, so if you are firing at a target and you have other ships firing at the same target, there will be an accuracy penalty. And that's fair enough, because it's if you're firing at an enemy ship and there's a bunch of splashes, you can't tell which splashes come from which ship, which is lessened by rangefinders and techs and things. The Japanese had the idea of, each ship would have a dye pack in the shell of a different colour, so they could tell, which ship had which splashes. And it also helps you have uniform gun caliber, because this was a problem if you have multiple calibers of gun. You can't tell the difference which splashes from which gun and stuff like that. But I think if they're going to do this, the way the AI targeting works will need to change, because if you've got a division of, say, 4 ships, currently how it works is they'll pretty much all pick the same target, and they'll fire all the guns at that target. What you want them to be doing now, which is also the more historical thing, is if you have 4 ships in a division, there are 4 targets. Each ship targets a separate enemy ship. And that is something that they would do specifically to avoid this kind of problem. So, going to have to see how that works in practice. Same goes for this one, the gun recoil accuracy effect. So, a recoil accuracy effect when firing guns, and that will be significant if your hull is too small for the guns. Again, I don't know if there's any way of seeing this in your designer, but it goes with velocity, as in muzzle velocity, and I'm assuming it goes with shell mass as well. So if you have, super heavy, super fast 20-inch guns on a teeny tiny battleship, it's gonna rock around all over the place, which just makes sense. But again, I need to see the gameplay effect of that. Updated ship physics, very nice. Engine efficiency is more important. That's good. I nearly always build my ships with 100% engine efficiency. But low engine efficiency will cause drastically slower speeds at sea. So if you build a ship with, say, 20% engine efficiency, you'll still be able to go at whatever its maximum speed is in battles, but on the map it's going to go slower than you expect, and it's going to have less range, which, makes them strategically less important. I'd agree with that too. Changes to how smoke works. So smoke doesn't give you the kind of flat accuracy penalty anymore, but goes in relation to target. So the smoke, I'm assuming is just going to billow out from the ship, and then, if it's in the waves between you and the ship, then it's going to give you a accuracy penalty. Again, this is something I'm really going to have to play around with. And it also means that smoke screens will help any target kind of either inside or behind the smoke screen. So this makes a little bit more sense. This is a little bit more historical, but I'm not sure how that's going to affect gameplay. So I really need to play around with it. Armor plate damage affects shell penetration. So this is something that you kind of assume is in the game, but actually isn't. Well, it is now. But as you degrade armor plates, then their effective protection will reduce. So basically, the situation you have at the moment where you get partial pen after partial pen after partial pen, that isn't going to happen anymore. So you get partial pen, partial pen, partial pen, but eventually all those partial pens are going to cause the armor to be less effective, and then it's going to fail, and then you're going to start penetrating. So I think that's a nice realistic touch. Again, gameplay wise, not sure. that could potentially be extremely unbalanced, so going to have a look at that. Flooding increases are causing section damage. Various ship design aspects, crew, and amount of damage received affect the flooding effects, and structural integrity affects them further. As a result, ships with increased damage have much more difficulty to control flooding. And so ships with maximum bulkheads will not feel invulnerable and so hard to sink as before. I think what this is saying is, if you hit a ship and, significant number of the crew are knocked out, the section's already damaged, or it's maybe behind another damaged section. It doesn't say that, but perhaps that's going to cause you problems, and it's going to flood out much more easily. And I think if this is true, if they've changed it like this, going for flooding damage is going to be a much more viable tactic. New hull, the USS Maine and variants. So It says 1889. I'll have a look and see if we can find this. Balance and fixes. Battle AI improvements to follow the new changes. I don't know if that means what I was talking about earlier with target selection or not. Auto design improvements. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Balances and ship weights. Again, doesn't say what. HE armor penetration capacity is reduced. Now, this is interesting because at the moment, well, again, if you're on 108.9, if you're on the live branch, then HE is often better, and you can go for pretty powerful HE builds. And I'm hoping that shell ballistic improvements affecting penetration mechanics and shell dispersion improved has fixed some of the issues that I have with how the penetration, not how the penetration system works, but that it sometimes doesn't work. Mainly that you have an AP shell hitting a section of armor that it can easily go through, and I think the game in 108 was going, yeah, not only do you go through that, it's so far beyond an overpin that it's just blocked, or it's a partial pin, like it goes round and starts again. I'm sure something like that was happening. Anyway, various bounces, fixes, again, they're not detailed, and campaign bugs, not mentioned what they are. They haven't fixed the turret rotation bug, but they are working on it. Minor hull improvements, again, do not know. And this one is, again, very interesting. So I hadn't realised that this is what was happening when you start a campaign. So if you start a campaign in 1910, as they say, the way the game was setting it up was, well, the AI is going to have a fleet already. Given it takes time to build those ships, it gets built with 1906 technology. Whereas the player comes in and they get the start date technology. So that is now changed. So if you start in 1910, you're going to get 1906 tech to actually build your ships. Which kind of makes sense. So the start of the campaign is going to be a little bit more difficult. So that's all the changes that are listed in the log. So, of course, I no longer have a continued campaign because the Salty Saga, I'm sorry to say, is going to come to an end. I will double check how many episodes I actually managed to record. I got, I think, about 36. Of course, YouTube stopped working. But let's see if we can find that new USS Maine hull. It's like 1899 or something, I think. Come on, YouTube. Work. Absolutely useless. Battleships 1 and 2. Yeah, I don't think the new hull is in that case. Because neither of them look... but I mean, both of them look very, very familiar. So I'm not sure that either ship has actually been added. But let's just go for a random, a Russian battleship. Let's have a quick look and see if I can spot any changes in the design. It does feel a bit snappier. I don't know if they've done any performance improvements, but yeah, everything kind of looks the same as it always used to. The greyed out ones have reappeared in. Oh no, this is different. So here we go. Here's a difference that wasn't mentioned in the notes. We have Shaft 4 and 5. These are brand new technologies, and they do come with a warning. Warning: complex propulsion systems increase the chance of construction faults. So you are warned if you go for these. I mean, they are pretty decent, that you're going to have potential construction faults. Do any of the others say this? Nope. Nope. Yeah, turbo electric gets a warning. So there's a double geared steam turbine. This might be due to the date. So if you're going past the text, it's like, yeah, this is advanced stuff. So let's say I go up a few years. Do we get the same warnings? 3, yeah. Yeah, we do. We do. Interesting. What about if I go all the way to 1940? Oops, I pressed quick start, didn't I? You fool! Not what I meant to do. Oops. Oh dear, oh dear. Now it's going to take ages. Because one thing to be wary of with new betas is that the AI build-in process takes forever. Come on. Bloody typical. Anyway, it does show you in the builder that there are potentially you're going for text that you might find cause you issues. Oh, YouTube's finally decided to start working. Right, I believe the Salty Saga will go up to 37 episodes. So you can look forward to that. Right, I'm very quickly... Oh, no, I'm not, because it's going to take ages for it to do that again. Can you just go back to the main menu? Come on. Alright, I'll be back in a second. Oops, daisy. What are they having there? Goodness knows. Anyway, let's see. This is 1940 tech. Yeah, it does have the same... It's the same thing. So, basically anything beyond geared turbines, you're going to get that same warning. Which is pretty interesting. Oh, that's new. This is new tech as well. Auxiliary 5. Diesel electric auxiliary system. Combination of diesel and electrical batteries. Oh, so you could actually go... If you went gas turbines aux 5, that's a... What's it called? Cog... Is that a cog lag or something? I can't remember, but that's like a fairly advanced system where you've got a gas turbine, a diesel engine, and a battery, and you can combine all of them, which is pretty nice. Let's just plop a couple of towers down, and a funnel, and a gun. I don't think there's anything new in there. No, that's all the same. Let's see if we get any other new techs. Yes, we do. A misnamed on here, but it says it right up the top. Barbet anti-flash 5. Oh, very nice. Oh, hello. All sorts of interesting things. Look at this. Krupp 4 used to be our maximum. Now we have Krupp 5, which comes with a warning. So does Krupp 4, actually. Modern 1. Interesting. And Modern 2. Oh, very interesting. Anti-torpedo is the same. So is that. This is all looking pretty similar. None of the propellants get the advanced warning. None of the shells do. But pretty much all the turret rotation mechanisms do. So once you get past the advanced hydraulic, you're gonna have this problem. Complex turret systems increase the chance of construction flaws. So that is going to happen. Is there a... Does it show you somewhere? I wonder the construction flaw chance. No, it doesn't look like it. But maybe it does. I'll stick down a torpedo launcher just so we can have a look at that. That's the same. I'm assuming, yeah. Anything beyond enhanced reloading comes with a warning. And that does... Yeah, we're all good there. Oh! What is this? These have been renamed. But I don't think there's anything new. Why? I wonder why they've done that. It doesn't look as clean as it did before. But yeah, these are the same, the rangefinders. Same with the... no. Did we have Sonar 3 before? I think this might be new. But you can see there it does have ASW effectiveness as a stat. Oh, and RDF now comes, and Advanced Radio now come with bonuses hidden before. Plus reconnaissance. Interesting. And flagship communication bonus and communications range. And radar also gives you the reconnaissance boost. So I'm still not sure there's any point to having... Well, you might want to both. If you go for a Gen 3 radar, like the RDF, there's still another 75% on top for flagship communication bonus, and another 90% reconnaissance, which is pretty good, actually. I'm assuming they stack. Let's try taking the RDF off. Yes, it does. This new screen over here, these new stats here. So that is very nice. And here we have new equipment: mines, mine-sweeping equipment, and depth charges. Interesting. Armor all looks the same. Guns, all this looks the same. What armor quality do you get? Do you go modern to all or nothing? Plus 163%. Ooh, that's quite spicy. That's quite spicy. And 50% armor weight reduction. That's pretty nice. But it does give you... Oh, it tells you there, 5.5% ship floor chance. Still, that's pretty nice. What about if you went turtleback with that? 167%. My goodness me. Right, the only other thing I kind of want to have a look at is I want to have a look at if I start a campaign, yeah, Italy 1940, auto-generate fleet, that's fine. And I want to have a look at the tech tree, so I'll be back in a second. Ooh, save slots. Nice, yes. Alright, welcome back to the full map. And immediately, I have a few things to point out, because I've been reading the beta note, patch notes on Steam, and there is a Steam forum dedicated to the beta branch. It said map borders are incomplete. New shipbuild graphics are not yet added, new hulls are not yet added, confirming what I was thinking about before. But this looks noticeably different. And the other thing is, it's not a wraparound map. It'd be nice if it was. The other thing I noticed is canals are not currently in the game. But minor nations are. Look at this. Portugal has ports. It has the Azores, and this is Madeira down here. I'm just looking about where I'm familiar. They've added Belgium, the Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, the Ottomans, I think. Britain does get Alexandria and Port Said, and both of them have decent port caps, which is nice. And Britain's getting, yeah, Britain gets random things all over the place. So your colonial empire is included. How much did you get in Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, Durban? Yeah, that's not too bad. Very interesting. Saudi Arabia, I think, down here. Kuwait is different from the Ottomans. Again, very interesting. Britain has India, obviously. No Calcutta, though. Dutch East Indies is present. This will be... yeah, Sarawak. Interesting. Spain has the Philippines. Even in 1940, as I said, this is not... This will change. They have mentioned this will be different in the final version. Korea is a minor, for sure. And then we have the Russian Far Eastern ports. I wonder, with the map being like this, how does the Pacific work? Like, can you actually sail a fleet off this edge of the map or not? I'm going to have to do some extensive testing, because I was going to start with Japan. German Pacific Holdings, very interesting. Australia. Where's New Zealand? Is it on the other side of the map? Right, let's go to the other side. Let's have a look down here. Wow, really? South Sandwich Islands. Okay. Yeah, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Brazil. All in. Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela. The Caribbean as well, including Denmark. Honduras and Nicaragua have the same flag. Interesting. US have taken Panama. Mexico's in, by the looks of it. And yeah, here we have the USA. And Canada. So Canada's not going to be British, but going to be its own thing. Again, this will be the 1890 start, even though it's not. But South Africa and Australia are still directly controlled by the British. I have to double check. When did Australia become... Because Canada was the first Dominion to become, you know, semi-independent. Oh, I can't remember when Australia did it. Wait, is Hawaii independent? Hawaii is independent. Very interesting. That's going to be an early goal for the United States, who do own Alaska. France and Britain have a couple of islands, and yeah, here is New Zealand. Again, British. Yeah, I think the only thing that I would say about the map is it really should be a wraparound. Also, the projection is a little squirrely up here, but otherwise it's pretty decent. Yeah, and the canals are not in. Oh, Greece is in as a minor. Interesting. We've got Bulgaria, Romania. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Right, what I really wanted to have a look at, though, was the new stuff. So we've got a few new things. Let's see, is there any new in the politics screen? Aside from the fact it's bigger, yes, you can now see the fleet breakdown, which is, that's really nice. That's a really nice feature. Thank you very much. And you can see all 10 majors are now in under the relations. I don't think anything else has changed on this screen. Finance screen looks exactly the same, although eagle-eyed viewers might be able to tell me if there's a difference. Research, let's have a look. Yeah, this all looks fairly familiar. You can pause the video if you're wanting to have a detailed look. I'm not going to read every single tech, but it is interesting to have a look at. Again, I started a 1940 campaign. So, here we go. These are the new quality control techs. So these are, I'm assuming, cumulative. So they're minus 10% ship flaws. Now, most of the components I was looking at kind of had plus 4%, plus 5%. So if you've got quality control 1, you can probably have 2 components that give you the chance of flaws. And that should cancel it out. A fully welded hull gives you, yeah, so you get flaw reductions. I'm just wondering if there's a way to easily see what your flaw reduction is and what your flaw chance is, because in fact nearly all of these have ship flaw reductions, so I don't think the ship flaws is going to be too bad. You're just going to have to keep an eye on that. Cruiser design, yeah, nothing new in there, nothing new in the destroyer design as far as I can tell. Armor quality, yeah, here it is. Crypt 5, modern armor 1, modern armor 2. Armor forging, anything interesting there? No, not particularly. Control stations looks about the same. Rangefinders again looks about the same. Hull protection, internals protection, gun layout. Yeah, the new anti-flash 5. Turret mechanisms, various types. That looks all looks pretty similar. Big guns looks the same. Yeah, this looks exactly the same. I was kind of hoping they would split this, but no, that looks the same to me. So does shells. These are different though. Smoke composition. So you get improved smoke reduction. Interesting. Reduced torpedo dud chance and mine damage. I think they're all new techs. Very interesting. Torpedo tubes looks the same. Torpedo size looks the same. Torpedo propulsion looks all the same. You kind of get gyroscope text. And these ones no longer have work in progress on them. So let's have a look. You get steam powered submarine, electric, batteries, periscope, electrically powered submarine, kerosene engine, diesel engine, mass produced war submarine. Interesting. I'm not sure what submarine experiments does. Okay. Submarine hulls. Very interesting. Along with mine-laying submarines and all sorts. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in here. And then submarine improvement techs. Submarine attack power. Stealth. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And then we have the Naval Tactics tech, which gives you training efficiency. Interesting. And max crew training. Just let you push it beyond trained. That'd be cool. Naval bombardment. That's completely new. That's not even mentioned in the patch notes. Naval bombardment. Reconnaissance. Improvements. Invade power. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Shell splash reduction. Interference. Armed merchant cruisers. Oh, hello. With torpedo tubes and things. That could be fun. Escort power, SW. There's so much to think about now. Flags. Oh, that's cool. They've added like carrier ships communicate, cryptography, radar surveillance, sonar submarine. There's some very cool stuff in here. Mines. Okay. Mine detection, mine sweeping. Oh my goodness. So much to get a grip on with this. And then anti-submarine theory, depth charges. And this is where the hydrophone and the sonars are. Okay. Well, that's all very interesting. Ship design screen looks exactly the same. Except I think they've expanded this. I don't remember getting all this information before. Mine hunter kit. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And what about a light cruiser? What are you doing with a light cruiser? Depth charges. It's actually better anti-submarine than the destroyer because it has those depth charges on it. Interesting, and better recon. Fascinating. But the battleship is terrible. As you'd expect. Okay, that's good. Fleet screen. Let's have a look. This looks very much the same, except, you know, let's have DC for presumably depth. Charge. Fuel and ammo. This is new. So you can see... well, I think damage is new too. So you can see damage, fuel, and ammunition. That's all very cool. I don't remember you being able to see speed before, but that might just be me forgetting. But yeah, this is expanded. This shows you more information. And then it shows you your submarines. Including a build button. And it's just a template. Okay. So these are SC class and SM and SSC. So SC Super Coastal. No, that's SSC. What's SC? Is ocean going. SM mine? Yeah, mine layer submarines. Okay. Interesting. Not easy to tell which ones they are, but okay. Anyway, that's all absolutely fascinating. I do want to see the recoil, so I'm going to very quickly build a ship and have a look at that. Back in a sec. Welcome back. I wanted to see if I could get some recoil. So this is a pretty big ship. It's 83,000 tons. And I'm noticing there's a new shadow effect. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. And the smoke actually just kind of hangs there. That's cool. Because I wanted to see if I could get a bit of the recoil. Right, nearly reloaded. Yeah, I'm not noticing them on this hull. So I'm pretty sure the recoil is going to be minimal. Like, it's not really going to be something you have to worry about too much. Let's see if we can see it on the interesting looking enemy ship. I don't see much in the way of like recoil being a serious issue, so that's good. But yeah, don't have overgunned overgunned small ships. Bit of a graphics weirdness going on over there. Wow, that accuracy is insane. What? Plus 3,000% range found. Getting 100% accuracy at 21 kilometers. I didn't even build this ship. This is just the AI ship, and it looks like the AI ship also has very high accuracy. So beware, your ships are going to be hitting each other. Ships are going to be hitting each other now a lot, by the looks of it. Range found bonus is insane. And well, they're certainly penning each other. And this thing has plenty of armor. Again, I didn't build it. I just hit auto design, took off some secondary guns that I thought were a bit unneeded. What kind of guns is this? Triple base TNT, standard shell, 18-inch, and the enemy is using, well, I don't know, but they're only 15-inch guns. So yeah, I'd say penetration is different. Oh, this is actually quite fun. I quite like this as a change. You're just gonna smack each other to bits. Again, this is 1940. Your mileage may vary significantly, but yeah, a bunch of partials. Still, I'll take it. So far, the combat actually feels really good. Particularly for a first version of the beta, it's really nice. Overpin. How many shells are these? Cap one. Secondaries on each other aren't doing too much. What's his armor like? 140? I am, however, seeing a target lock bug, which makes me a little sad. Kind of hoping that would be fixed, but oh well. I'll submit bug reports. My pen chance. Oh, good. Yeah. And he's got what? Yeah, good armor. So I think you're going to find that you're going to be hitting more often. You're going to be, yeah, combat I think is deadlier. And that's a good thing. I'll need more extensive testing than just, you know, throwing a couple of random ships together. Still, interesting. Very interesting. Big damage. Big numbers as well. I think ships are slightly have got not the ships really have hit points in this game, but I think they've maybe upped how much damage you can take. And down they go. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this very brief look at the features in 109. Campaign stuff will be coming as soon as I get time to do it. They're releasing on a Friday night. Really possibly the worst time they could possibly do it for me. But yes, new campaign coming, content coming, maybe even after a couple of patches. I'll keep you updated with any significant 109 news. But in the meantime, enjoy. Bye for now.